Going Beyond is a presentation of Beyond Housing, helping entire communities become better places to live with Rare Gem Productions.
We're going beyond.
Today on Going Beyond.
On today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about a well-recognized name in education for our children in the community. We're going to talk about Cardinal Ritter.
Just the foundation, the expectation that you are going to succeed in this academic environment based upon a threefold mission of academic excellence, faith development, and leadership training. Those are the three components that drive our program on a daily basis. So the expectation to achieve, as soon as they walk in the door, that tone is set. It's reinforced on a daily basis through classrooms, through the leadership training, through the faith development, academic excellence. All three of those are what drive us on a daily basis. So when and again, to go back to the point, we don't want anyone to say, well, that's not the place for me based upon finances. Come and talk to us. Let's work something out for you.
Joining me on today's show is John Saunders, the Advancement Director for Cardinal Ritter College Prep. Beyond Housing is going beyond.
That and more ahead today on Going Beyond with Chris Kremeyer, right after this.
The community is crying out for help, and there are individuals that live in the community that want to be involved. It's so dynamic, and the stigma is that people are just accepting what's going on, that they've become callous to the violence every day, but it's not true. It's just that people are looking for some leadership and something to get involved in that's sincere and that's everlasting and not just a quick fix. And what we're trying to do is come up with an idea and approaches that are everlasting, long-lasting approach and not a quick fix, and something that's sustainable for the community.
If as a community we can understand that most of all the issues that we face in our lives are directly related to toxic stress and trauma, we can create a place where people understand that there are reasons behind behaviors. These aren't just random acts of violence, and things aren't just happening out of the blue. There are reasons behind all of that. It's time to thrive. Be alive and well. Join this movement at aliveandwellstl.com.
Rare Gem Productions proudly presenting the positive.
We're going beyond. Welcome to this edition of Going Beyond. I'm your host, Chris Kremeyer, President and CEO of Beyond Housing. On today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about a well-recognized name in education for our children in the community. We're going to talk about Cardinal Ritter. Joining me on today's show is John Saunders, the Advancement Director for Cardinal Ritter College Prep. Welcome to the show, John.
Chris, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
As we mentioned before the show started, I know a little bit of everybody has heard about Cardinal Ritter. My bet is some folks know a lot and a whole bunch of folks don't know all the details. So tell us a little bit about the history of Cardinal Ritter and where it's at today.
Well, it's a very true statement. Cardinal Ritter has been a known entity in education for over 35 years now. Originally started in North St. Louis over in Thecla in the old La Brea School building. And basically, we have been really a pillar in education for that long. We provide excellent opportunities for our students to go on to college, succeed in life, and then come back to the St. Louis community and become contributing members to our community. So we're currently located at 701 North Spring Avenue in the Grand Center area. And as you pointed out, many people have heard about us, don't know exactly what we do, but part of our initiative is to invite more people in to our facilities, meet our students.
And it's a gorgeous campus.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful, and really become part of this growth opportunity that we have. We have a new president that's on board now, Tamiko Armstead. Our previous president, Mr. Leon Henderson, did an excellent job for 30-plus years. But as you know, things do evolve, changes do take place. And we're really headed in a direction that Leon set the tone for. Now we're taking it to a different level as far as student recruitment, our development efforts, and really to go along with what your point was, re-energizing the Cardinal Ritter brand.
What grades are Cardinal Ritter? Again,
we are 9 through 12.
9 through 12. So it's a high school?
Yes, it is.
And how many students are currently enrolled?
Currently, we have approximately 250 students. We have capacity for 400, which is really part of the enrollment and admissions initiative to get back up to 300 plus within the next couple of years.
You have a relationship with the St. Louis Archdiocese?
That is correct. And actually, Chris, that's a very good question because I myself am actually employed by the Archdiocese through the Today and Tomorrow Educational Foundation, and I'm dedicated specifically for development, community outreach, marketing, and public relations for Cardinal Ritter.
So if there are parents or students out there who are interested in the experience at Cardinal Ritter and the idea is to prepare young folks for the future, and particularly for college, what's the process? How do they raise their hand? How do they get to you guys? What does that look like?
Well, basically what it looks like is they can either go to our website, which is cardinalrittercollegeprep.org, click on the enrollment button, or they can call the school directly. That would be at 446-5524, talk to one of our admissions representatives, and they will get the process started. Basically, the initial application, looking at what the student's background is as far as academics, behavior, what schools they come from, and then also looking at what type of financial assistance the students and families will need. Because one of the biggest challenges we have, Chris, is to help those students and families between the 9th and the 12th grade. Once they complete our program, they go on. As a matter of fact, 80 students that graduated in May earned $4.7 million in college scholarship money. So making it
send some to my children.
Okay, well, get them down to Cardinal Ritter and we'll get them going. But the fact of the matter is that one of our biggest areas of focus is, of course, development, and you can relate to that being in the nonprofit sector. So from that perspective, it's an ongoing process. But the way to get started is to either go to the website or call that 446-5524 number.
And again, there is tuition, right? It's not a public school.
That's right.
It's a private parochial school.
That's correct.
And what is the annual tuition?
The annual tuition is approximately $12,500. We subsidize close to 3/4 of that through the Archdiocese, through private donations. However, to ensure that the family and the student has, quote unquote, a buy-in to the process, is we do ask each family to contribute to that tuition on a more often than not, it's on a payment plan. So it's a monthly payment plan that we set up. Of course, there are some families that can afford to pay it outright. However, the majority of our students come from low to moderate income families, so we do provide subsidies in one way or another through scholarships, financial assistance, grant support, whatever we can mix and match to make it happen for them.
So clearly, preparing our children for long-term success, and clearly we know that, sadly, a lot of our public schools today aren't providing the best education for every child that goes through their doors. So clearly this is a great opportunity. Is there a bit of a price tag? Yeah, but again, as you said, the school through the Archdiocese and other resources knock that number down dramatically. So folks should not be frightened by the price tag because, again, there is lots of support through the Ritter community to provide some tuition assistance.
And really, we don't want anyone to be deterred from checking into it. The fact of the matter is that when you talk about, you mentioned our public schools, okay? I actually went to Catholic elementary school, but I went to public high school. And the difference between the two, even 30 plus
a few years ago,
maybe one or two, okay?
You're a young man.
So from that perspective, just the foundation, the expectation that you are going to succeed in this academic environment based upon a threefold mission of academic excellence, faith development, and leadership training, those are the three components that drive our program on a daily basis. So the expectation to achieve, as soon as they walk in the door, that tone is set. It's reinforced on a daily basis through classrooms, through the leadership training, through the faith development, academic excellence. All three of those are what drive us on a daily basis. So when and again, to go back to the point, we don't want anyone to say, well, that's not the place for me based upon finances. Come and talk to us. Let's work something out for you.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the faith component part. Again, sure. You are an archdiocese school. So what does that mean? Again, what I want is I don't want people to give themselves roadblocks to explore and to look into maybe sending their child to Cardinal Ritter.
Well, I mean, we are a Catholic institution. However, Chris, 80% of our students are non-Catholic. So the aspect of the faith development is more of a resource, to a strength to draw, to gain strength from. We have a very faithful staff. It's not forced down the student or family's throat, but we both know through life you have to draw upon your faith at some point to be able to help you get through and onto the next thing. So it's not something that we pressure students about. There is a chapel available in the school. There are chapel services. There's religion-based classes that students are required to participate in. But from the standpoint of being able to mix it in with the other two pieces of the mission statement, that is one of three pieces. So when a family looks at the faith component, we want them to understand is that faith is the foundation for growth. It's a foundation to have a better understanding of what it means to be faithful in your academics, in your leadership, and be able to draw on it.
So you've known about the institution since its inception and been working there for a couple of years. What are the things that draw you to it, and what are the things that you would share with our listeners? Like, okay, let's get past the money and all that, right? So let's really talk about, as all of us parents do, we want what's best for our kids. We want our children to be successful. What does Ritter provide that lots of kids in our region aren't going to get from their local schools?
Well, I would say the level of expectation to succeed. I have not been in a public school environment for a number of years. Actually, I used to run a dropout program in a local suburban public school. And one of the things, and Chris, I hate this term, is at risk, okay? These kids are some of the brightest kids that may be in the school, but getting some attention and focus on where they are at the point in achieving their education. What we do is set the tone, we set the expectation, and we fit the pieces together individually to help them get to where they can really succeed at the college level and beyond. Many students that fortunately do graduate from the local high schools or maybe most public schools, if they're accepted into college, they have to go through remedial programs their first year. Cardinal Ritter students hit the ground running. Our valedictorian, for example, she was accepted to every Ivy League school.
Wow.
As an incoming freshman.
That's impressive.
She chose to go to Vanderbilt, which we both know is kind of the Ivy League of the South, because she wanted the education, but she also wanted to get connected to her roots, so to speak,
right,
in a southern part of the country. So the thing that a student and family can really expect is a solid foundation, a proven track record, and an expectation that they can succeed individually based upon their drive, the support that they receive, both financially and academically. And we both know community and family is a very big part of that picture also.
Sure. And if folks are now interested because you've hooked them, you've convinced them, what do they do?
Well, what they do from an academic standpoint, they contact Cardinal Ritter via our website at cardinalritterprep.org. They can call an admissions representative at 446-5524. If you have an interest in donating or being a contributor to our program, we have a number of different options that are available to you. One in particular is our Joe Wiley Society, which is a individual giving initiative that's named after Mr. Wiley. He was an African-American educator in Catholic schools for 30, 40 years. And then the other thing, too, Chris, and I think this kind of touches on some of the things that Beyond Housing does, is that we have community partnerships with the Wyman Center, with Boys and Girls Clubs, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, to start bringing their participants to our doors so that we can help them do what they do. Of course, we have corporate support. Emerson, for one, stepped up and made a 4-year commitment to provide scholarship and financial assistance for any young person in Ferguson that's interested in coming to Cardinal Ritter. We also have a program that will be starting in the fall with Midland State Banks. We will have a program called the CEO Institute, where our juniors and seniors will actually be trained to become CEOs of their own companies.
Nice.
As they're in high school and continue through college, and provide support once they finish college to get those businesses set up. So what we're trying to do is somewhat evolve with the times. Okay?
Absolutely.
We can't stay status quo. Status quo has worked, but
time to move.
There you go.
You have a couple events coming up as we come to close here.
On May 7th, we have a reception for our leadership donors at the 10th Street Art Gallery. To get more information, I can be contacted directly at 314-792-7732. Email is John Saunders, and that's SAUNDERS, at archstl.org.
John, thank you so much for sharing great information about Cardinal Ritter. It's great history, it's great legacy, but more importantly, as it's looking to move into the future, thank you for sharing the story with us.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Chris.
We're going beyond.
Going Beyond is a presentation of Beyond Housing, helping entire communities become better places to live with Rare Gem Productions. Proudly promoting, presenting, and producing positive programming.
Neighborhood is where you live, and we want to keep it strong and vibrant. This is Chris Krameyer with Beyond Housing. We are going beyond.
Chris Krameyer, President and CEO of Beyond Housing. Located at 4156 Manchester, phone number 314-533-0600. The only organization in the St. Louis region that offers access to affordable housing. Wherever we work, our goal is to help transform people, families, and communities so that they achieve the skills, strategies, resources, and commitment to succeed for the long term. See our work at beyondhousing.org. Podcast for Going Beyond can be heard, downloaded, and shared by visiting hallelujah1600.com. Listed under the music tab, on demand. Going Beyond is another positive production of Rare Gem Productions.